ever catch yourself admiring like the sleek design of your phone or how comfortably your favorite mug fits in your hand,
Mm,
you're appreciating the work of an industrial designer.
yeah,
And that's what we're diving into today. We've
right.
got a ton of info from RoleCatcher's career guides and their platform,
Yeah, okay.
really your backstage pass to this whole world of industrial design.
Yeah, what's interesting is people often think industrial design is just about aesthetics,
Right.
but it's really more about problem solving.
Okay.
It's about making things that are both beautiful but also functional.
So it's like that saying, form follows function.
Yeah.
But then you're also layering on this whole other aspect of innovation.
Exact.
How does that actually play out in the real world?
Okay,
Like, what are some things that industrial designers actually do?
let's stick with that smartphone example.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a sleek exterior, but they're thinking about how your hand interacts with the device. The
Hmm.
button placement, the curve of the screen, even like the texture of the materials.
Oh, wow.
It's all carefully thought out to make it a good experience for the user.
So it goes way beyond just making something look nice.
Yeah,
You're thinking about how it feels, how it works, how you actually use it every single day.
exactly.
That must take a ton of creativity, but then also all those technical skills.
It's a huge mix of both, and it can even depend on the day.
Really?
One day they might be sketching ideas in a studio.
Okay.
The next, they're on the computer using 3D modeling software.
Wow, so there's this whole technology aspect to it.
Oh yeah, you have things like AutoCAD and SolidWorks. They use those to create virtual prototypes.
That's so cool.
It lets them test out different things like the ergonomics, how it looks, even simulate manufacturing.
Oh, wow.
And they can do all of that before a physical product even exists.
That's incredible. It
Mhm.
seems like such a hands-on field,
Yeah,
even when they're working digitally.
it is.
What I find so fascinating is they need to understand design principles,
Uh-huh.
but they also need to understand how things are actually made.
Absolutely.
And that's where I imagine that business sense comes into play.
Exactly. If you don't understand the business side, you can run into problems.
Right.
Like, say you design this amazing ergonomic chair,
Okay.
but the materials you chose make it super expensive to produce.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's where business savvy comes in. You might have to find different materials, negotiate with suppliers, maybe even rethink some parts of your design.
Wow.
And through all of that, you still need to make sure the chair is a good price and that people actually want to buy it.
So they're constantly navigating between the artistic side,
Yeah.
the functionality, and then the reality of selling it.
It's a balancing act for sure.
Not to mention having to stay up to date because technology changes so fast.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah,
You always have to be learning.
absolutely. So for someone who's interested in this career path,
Yeah.
what are some of the pros and cons they should be ready for?
Well, the creative freedom is awesome. You get to see your ideas come to life.
Yeah.
And it's rewarding knowing that your work can have a real impact on people's lives.
Plus, I imagine the salary isn't too bad either.
It's definitely a well-paying field if you're good at it.
Okay, so it's rewarding and you can make good money.
Whoa.
Where's the catch?
Honestly, it's a very competitive field.
Oh, okay.
You're always trying to land those big projects and stand out from the crowd.
Hmm.
And with technology constantly changing, you can never stop learning.
So you're saying there's a lot of pressure to constantly be adapting?
Yeah, you could say that.
It's like adapt or become obsolete.
Pretty much.
It is kind of adapt or become obsolete.
It really is.
So let's say someone's listening and they're thinking, okay, this sounds amazing.
Yeah.
How do I even get started?
Yeah.
What kind of education do you need to get your foot in the door?
Usually it starts with a bachelor's degree in industrial design,
Okay.
in that you'll cover all the basics like design thinking, sketching, 3D modeling.
So you get to experience the whole design process.
Yeah, you get a real feel for it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But are there more specialized degrees too?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like if someone knew exactly what they wanted to design,
You could do something like product design, or if you're into cars, you could do transportation design.
so you can really hone in on a specific area.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Now, are there any degrees that people might not expect
Mm.
that could actually be useful in industrial design?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like something that doesn't scream industrial design at first glance?
You'd be surprised how helpful a business degree can be.
Really?
Yeah, even marketing.
Wow, okay.
Because you're not just designing something just to design it.
Right, you've got to sell it.
You need to understand things like market trends, what consumers want.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Even some basic accounting can be super helpful.
So you really need to understand the business side of things too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's say you've got the degree, you've got the business know-how.
Mm-hmm.
How do you actually break into the industry?
Your portfolio is going to be key.
Okay.
And I mean, even before you graduate,
Oh, wow. So start early.
you want to be working on internships, personal projects, collaborations, anything that shows off your skills.
So it's not even just about the final product.
Yeah. Not at all.
It's about showing how you got there.
Exactly.
Show your process.
Employers want to see how you think,
Yeah, that makes sense.
how you take an idea and turn it into something real.
Speaking of skills,
Yeah.
what are some of those must-have skills
Yeah.
for an industrial designer?
You're going to need that mix of artistry, technical skills, and of course, that business sense we talked about.
Okay, let's break down the technical skills a bit.
Sure.
We touched on 3D modeling.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other software programs that are essential?
CAD software is a must.
Okay,
Things like Autodesk, Alias, and Rhino.
those are big ones.
Those are really good for surface modeling.
This is modeling.
Yeah, for creating those smooth, organic shapes,
Oh, okay.
like what you see on cars or fancy electronics.
That's cool. And what about the more technical stuff?
Then you have software like SolidWorks and the GTIA.
Okay.
Those are powerhouses for mechanical design.
So if something's got a lot of moving parts,
Exactly.
those are the programs to know.
Yep. Each program has its own strengths.
So it's like having a bunch of tools.
Yeah, like a digital toolbox.
You got to know which one's right for the job
Exactly. And you have to be willing to learn new ones, too.
because technology is always changing.
Always.
So it seems like adaptability is key.
Oh, for sure.
Ah.
And not just with the technical stuff either.
Right, like being able to meet deadlines.
Yeah, you'll have tight deadlines.
And you'll be working with all kinds of people.
We'll be working with engineers, marketers, clients.
So communication is super important.
It's essential.
You have to be able to get your ideas across.
And you have to be able to work as part of a team.
So it's not just about being a good designer.
It's about so much more than that.
You have to be a good communicator, a problem solver,
Yeah.
a team player.
You've got to be able to handle a lot of different things.
So you've honed your skills. You've built up an amazing portfolio.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, then comes the really fun part.
Which is?
Landing the job.
Oh, right.
And let me tell you, that can be a challenge in itself.
That's like you need a secret weapon or something.
Right.
Speaking of which, we were talking earlier about RoleCatcher.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like that could be a total game changer when it comes to job hunting,
Oh, it definitely can be.
especially in a field that's so visual, like industrial design.
It's like having an AI assistant for your job search.
Okay.
It helps you cut through all the noise, especially with everything being online now.
So how does it do that?
Well, it's designed specifically for design-focused resumes.
Oh, okay.
So it knows how to showcase your skills in a way that'll catch the eye of a recruiter.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, no more generic templates.
Exactly.
You're not just hoping they click on your portfolio link.
You want them to see what you're about right away.
So how does RoleCatcher actually do that?
It analyzes job descriptions, but like really analyzes them.
Oh, wow.
It pulls out the keywords, the skills,
Yeah.
even if they want you to know specific software.
That's wild. So it's like you know exactly what they're looking for.
Pretty much. It's like having insider information.
So you can tailor your application to each job.
Exactly. You highlight the stuff that matters most to them.
That's way better than just sending out the same resume to a million places.
Oh, yeah. Way more effective.
And RoleCatcher does even more than that. Right.
It helps you with your CV and cover letter, too.
Really?
Yeah. It gives you AI feedback.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Like it looks at your writing, makes sure it's clear and easy to read.
Okay.
Even looks at the visual presentation of your application.
That's so smart. It's like having a personal editor.
I know, right?
But let's talk about the actual interview.
Okay.
Because that can be nerve-wracking no matter what.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But especially when you're trying to explain your creative vision.
It's a different kind of pressure.
So can RoleCatcher help with that part too?
Absolutely. It's got this huge library of practice interview questions.
Oh, wow.
And they're all specific to industrial design.
That's amazing. Like you're getting ready for anything they can throw at you.
Exactly. You can practice your answers, figure out how you want to talk about your work.
That way you can walk into that interview feeling super confident.
And prepared. It really makes a difference.
It sounds like it. So as we wrap up, is there any final advice you'd give to someone who wants to be an industrial designer?
That's a good one. I'd say don't be afraid to push the boundaries.
What do you mean?
Industrial design is all about innovation. It's about coming up with new ideas, new ways of doing things.
So don't be afraid to experiment.
Exactly. Try new things. Don't be afraid to fail sometimes.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
And never stop learning, right?
Never. Technology changes so fast, you got to stay on top of it.
This has been awesome. I
Yeah.
feel like I've learned so much about the world of industrial design.
Me too. It's been fun.
And I bet our listeners have too. If you're listening, make sure to check out our show notes.
Yeah, we'll have links to everything we talked about.
And until next time, keep those creative sparks flying.
We'll see you then.